So here's 8 principles for attachment to occur between parent and child. The first one is the easiest one, believe it or not, but that is if, in fact, you're going to be a parent, how about, get on board, prepare for the act of being a parent.
Well, there's an idea. Get ready.
Get ready. When I met Carrie, she was doing labor and delivery.
That's true, I was.
And, the baby's born, mom's exhausted, and often when I went to see her on the floor, she was carrying a baby around, just got the little bugger there in her arm, just carrying it. And she, every time I saw her, she had some little child they were carrying around, and it's almost like the medical staff got very adjusted to we don't leave the children just sit there in an incubator. We grab them and we drag them. We carry them everywhere.
Yep, that's true. We did.
So why did you do that?
Because they do need to be held. They do need to feel like they're safe, and babies don't have they don't have brain development or a sense of what their environment is, and so being close to another person and hearing voices, may not be mom's voice, they're much more tuned to mom's voice initially, but hearing a voice helps them to adjust to and stay calm in their environment.
So the idea that children are coming, I'm going to prepare to be a mom, prepare to be a dad, get the room in place, read some books, understand what's involved emotionally, because it's challenging when that child is crying all hours of the night. You got to set yourself up.
What? It's not an 8 to 5 job?
It's not an 8 to 5, and we've experienced that.
No,
our little daughter, Juliet, for 4 months, pretty much nonstop, she was having to be right there with you, and otherwise she tended to not do well. And it was absolutely demanding, and I will tell you right now, you've got to be ready for what's going to come, so prepared. Number 2, know the importance of holding and feeding and soothing the child from the moment that baby's born. As life continues, it changes, but know that importance.
That's right. And the entire time that a baby is in the womb, they do hear. They hear mom's heartbeat. They hear the placenta. They hear things out in their environment. You'll see moms and dads talking to the baby through the belly, and some of them I've seen headphones on the belly because they're playing stress relieving music to their unborn baby. But it does help. It does work. Studies do show that kids that are talked to and when their environment is calm around them, that they hear as they're not even born yet, they tend to be calmer when they are born.
I try to give these principles to my guys. I do a lot of the men's groups, and they really. It really is kind of new to them that the child that's carried in the womb can hear. And I've tried to, symbolize that by saying, look, have you ever been in a swimming pool and you're underwater and you can hear people?
I have.
It's muddled and it's mumbled, but the child picks up a sense of serenity, or if the parents are engaging and they're arguing. They pick up that energy. So very, very important that you realize that all these sounds that are going on, that child's hearing and learning, okay?
Yep.
Number 3, learn to respond to the child with sensitivity. Sensitivity. I think sometimes it's really hard for, especially newborn children, when they're crying all hours of the night and you just want to just crawl out of your skin because you're tired and the child is crying and maybe they're colicky. But the idea that you have to have some sensitivity to what that child is experiencing in their environment and be aware that this too will pass.
Right.
I'm there to hug you. I'm there to hold you. Yes, it gets trying. Yes, it gets difficult.
Right.
But be prepared to be sensitive as much as possible, especially in those newborn days.
And I think one of the ways we as parents have to consider to do that is we really have to be patient and we have to slow down.
Yes. So much.
It's hard to be sensitive when I'm in a hurry because I got something to do, and it's much easier to be sensitive when I don't have this schedule pushing me. Oh my God, we got to be because then I'm getting all stressed up too, and the child may not be helping because they're having a moment.
Number 4, develop a sense of touch. I can tell you that learning to be by your child and just that, put your hand on the shoulder or put your hand to maybe rub their hair, the back of their head. But when you're with the baby, even if you're not holding the child, and as your child grows, that idea that mom or dad, they feel enough love for me, enough kindness that they're always got that idea that I'm being touched. Okay.
Right.
The next, if you will, be there at the essential times that your child develops. And I guess what I mean by be there is we've gotten into this habit of many of the people that we work with, they drop off the baby at childcare in the morning, and then they come back late in the afternoon, and oh my God, I got to go to school tonight, so I'll bring the baby to my mom's house or my, whatever. So when I'm talking about be there, the idea that you have to be present in the child's life as much as possible,
right?
And you've got to avoid these unnecessary times that you're away from the child, that the child is alone.
That's right. Yeah, and we talk about the sometimes in getting prepared back up to that first one, you have to recognize what's going on in your life, and you may have to make choices to make changes so that you are available to be with them, which means I may have to defer school, or I may have to cut back on my part-time job, or I may have to make changes to the way my life or my social structure works, because now I have this being that I am devoted to giving time to.
Carrie and I went through this a few years ago, but we really had lost track of the amount of hours we were playing at the clinic and our job, and I was teaching for one of the universities as an adjunct faculty, and we realized that we have gotten so disconnected because we kept focusing on our career goals and really had lost a sense of sight on our goals as a parent. And so we actually, both of us got together and we cut our hours back, not because we had to, but because we wanted to be more available. Number 6, practice consequences. If you will, we call it positive discipline.
Right.
Positive discipline. Some people might call it grandma's rule. You do this for me, I'll do that for you. But the idea that as you're raising your child and your child does push boundaries and limits, that you're always bringing them back into the fold. You teach them that when you do things that are not acceptable, you might lose privileges, and as such, we develop this connection, which is based not on fear but on love. Right.
It's an emotional connection with your child, as opposed to what you might call a bond, where it's goal oriented. We were looking at that this week. Bonding with children tends to be very goal oriented, and so I'm tasking you to do this, and then I'm watching. Whereas an emotional bond, an attachment, has to do with being emotionally available for my child at their level, and that's where discipline comes in. I'm emotionally available at your level, and at your level, I'm going to tell you or convey to you what is and isn't appropriate for being in this family.
And then finally, the last of the 8, which is strive for the 3 C's. And the 3 C's would be career, children, and chores. So the idea that you're striving for balance.
Balance.
That I do have a career and I do have chores. The chores are the maintenance things that have to do with the house.
Right.
Grocery shopping and cleaning and vacuuming, such like that.
Right.
But that idea that the children are very integral and that balance has to be there so they get their fair share.
Yes.